Simmons. Mad scientist GM Kyle Dubas puzzles Leafs Nick Iwanyshyn. The Canadian Press article content. Kyle Dubas, while young general manager of the Maple Leafs, has a clear and determined philosophy on how to build champion, while investing heavily in the four leading bigs, Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares and William Nylander. Try refreshing your browser or Simmons. Mad scientist GM Kyle Dubas puzzled Leafs back to video. Sorry, but this video could not be loaded. Try refreshing your browser or play 40 million videos per year for Core 4. It was a good guess for him, even though he was overpaying at the time. To date, it has resulted in an annual playoff failure that has become the team's calling card. Partially overwhelmed by COVID-19 and a fixed salary cap, partially by the inability of its own players to perform when it matters most, and if investing $40 million in the front four players without goalkeeping, defense or match depth a gamble. What Dubas is doing right now, throwing piles at the wall and hoping something sticks. Praying, an even bigger gamble. Maybe a stupid first. Maybe the kind of overreaction that would cost him his job. The line for NHL trading is Friday. But pretty much everything that matters to happen has already happened. And it seems that many general managers, Dubas, who is no longer a kid, front and center here, have lost their minds. The number of first-round picks being thrown around like they don't really matter is alarming. But try and create a striker champion for nearly $40 million. Dubas realized he couldn't win that way. And now he's trying to invent a new way win, something that has never been done in hockey history. The trading line is normally add piece, subtract a piece, kind of exercise. Better teams are trying to upgrade. Butch Goring type trading happens once in a lifetime. The lower teams are trying to get rid of bad contracts for good draft picks. Mix and match works under normal conditions. Article content. There is nowhere a history of a team that brought in 6 players by the line and had any success afterward. This diligent piece of work is an overreactionary estimate for Dubas. It's kind of crazy science for the GM. Championships are won teams, not by individuals, especially in hockey, and certainly not changing 25% of a locker room, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and hope. The locker room is the sacred home of every team. It brings teams together and sometimes separates them. When you add 6 new trunks, as Dubas did here with Maple Leafs, you have no idea how they will fit together on or off the ice. If the Leafs appeared to be an unknowing team in Edmonton Wednesday night, it's because they don't know each other. Non-line lines play together. Defensive pairs without defensive pairings play together. There are 20 games in the regular schedule. 20 games for the coach. Article content. Sheldon Keefe will figure out which 18 skaters are best suited for playoff time, which rows and pairs work best, and get his boss, Dubas, right. No matter who they play with. None of this is going to be easy for the Leafs with Ryan O'Reilly and all the new players. They will face coach Jon Cooper in round 1 of the playoffs. They will still play Andrei Vasilevskiy in the first round. They will still play against Victor Hedman. Do you know who tends to win after the season? The coach with the best goalkeeper and the defender? If you were given the choice of Keefe, Ilya Samsonov and Morgan Rielly against Cooper, Vasilevskiy and Hedman, who would you bet on? Try refreshing your browser or playing video as general manager. It's Dubas' job to make club better and prepare them for postseason and seasons ahead. O'Reilly may have developed club with Noel Acciari, Sam Lafferty and Jake McCabe, maybe, but he did so at the expense of also selling team's future. Not knowing if Matthews would be around beyond next season. Article content. Who wins the Stanley Trophies? Teams with early draft picks like Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, Hedman and Steven Stamkos, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, Doughty and Anze Kopitar. The Leafs have these picks with Matthews, Marner and Nylander. They won't have these elections in the coming years, which is part of the mad science that Dubas is taking part in here. The Leafs can beat Tampa Bay in round 1 because Lightning is not the team he was when he won the trophies. But if the Leafs somehow make it to the second round, and that's a big one to start with, they'll take Boston, who played this last trade game perfectly. The Bruins seem to understand what the Leafs and many other clubs don't. They don't reach out and trade too often and too little. The Bruins added Dmitry Orlov to the defense from Washington, where they won a Stanley Cup, and winger Tyler Bertuzzi, who had scored up to 30 goals in a season at Detroit. They contribute to a team that plays the best hockey in the NHL all season. They have a clear identity and purpose. Leafs are a puzzle with missing pieces, and 20 games to solve them all. Simmons postmedia.com, twitter.com/SimmonsSteve